This is a reflection in place of what the homily would be at the Good Friday service for the people at St. Gerard. Good Friday, a wonderful but yet terrible day. To people that don't really know much about Christianity, they sometimes get this day confused with another. When I was in high school and we were getting ready for spring break, which happened to fall the week after Easter, we would have a half day on Good Friday. For people that didn't understand that there was a Good Friday service, usually starting around noon or so, would question why we have a half day. To that, some people that didn't really get it said it's because of Black Friday. Mistaking Good Friday and Black Friday, obviously not knowing that they didn't understand, it was actually pretty funny to me. But let's look at what happened here. There's a lot that goes into this reading. There's so many things that we could look at. And I think we look a lot at on Palm Sunday, the idea that Jesus was coming into the city. But I want to look actually specifically at Peter for a second. Those three little words, the answer to such a simple question: surely you are this man's disciple. I am not, I am not, I am not. How often I've said those words. How often I have played the part of Peter in my life. Sometimes it looks like it did in our gospel, this intense, scary moment of public denouncement. But this is more rare, I think. So much more often it's those quiet denials of the heart, those rejections that no one knows except for him and I. We are the only two that know that sometimes I reject God. Maybe not intentionally, but I do nonetheless. Those denials that happen under the cover of darkness, where we say once again, I do not know him, or I am not. Today is Good Friday. Today is that wonderful and terrible day where we remember two things: what he did for us, but also what we did to him. And that right there is the most remarkable thing about the cross. It's the choice he makes. He knows Peter will deny him, and he goes there for Peter. He knows the crowds will turn against him, and he goes there for the crowds. He knows Pilate will wash his hands and refuse to stand up for him, and he goes to the cross for Pilate. He knows that the scribes and Pharisees will bring forth false testimony. He knows this, and yet he goes there for the scribes and the Pharisees. He knows that 2,000 years later, you and I will be struggling with the exact same problems in the exact same way that Peter did. He knows that we will struggle in the same ways as the crowds, the Pharisees, and those who falsely testified against him. He knows this. But yet he goes to the cross. He goes there for you, and he goes there for me. Today, Jesus shows us the remarkable depths of his love. Today, Jesus, who is God himself, decides that your life, my life, are worth giving up for his own. Today is the day when the creatures kill their creator. The creation that God created killed their creator. When men kill their God. And he goes willingly, humbly, without resistance or complaint, saying, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Today is the day that Jesus takes all of our sin onto himself. All those times we've said, I am not. He covers us with his own precious blood so that we can be transformed. In this sacrifice of Christ, we get to change the I am not into I am. This wonderful, terrible day is the day that an individual whom he knows and loves completely today is the day that Jesus lets you know that he is committed to you. God saved us. Today is the day he shows you that he is with you and for you 100%. So today let's together, you and I, make this day where we let him know that we are committed to him. Let's make this day the day that we turn the I am nots, the times that we deny Peter, or like Peter, we deny God, into I ams. I am a disciple of God. I know God. I love God. I am for God. As Christians, there's talk about being saved by Jesus. Good Friday is that time. We know the power of the cross has saved us. Jesus shows us through the final days of his life that part of life, a large part of life can be suffering. Suffering is part of life. We suffer to get through to the joy. Jesus suffered death on a cross so that on Easter he can rise with joy. Through his death and on the cross, he saved us all. He saved you, he saved me, he saved Peter, he saved Pilate, he saved the scribes, he saved the Pharisees, he saved the crowds that falsely testified against him. He saved us all so that we could live to serve one another. So if we really gather what Good Friday is all about, it's actually maybe not that different from Black Friday. On Black Friday, it's the day that people have their biggest savings of the year when buying things. As Christians, we have Good Friday was the day when we were saved. Completely. 100% off. It's the biggest savings in history. My hope is that just as people get crazy and excited for Black Friday by standing in line for hours and hours, hoping they can get what they've always wanted in the stores, that today we can get excited and anxious and thankful for the God who came to the earth to die for us. Let's start getting excited and anxious and thankful, for we know what will happen on Sunday. No longer shall we be like Peter and say, I am not, but get ready to say I am a follower of Jesus. And best of all, I am saved.